Okay, so this is my landscape ecology final video, and I decided to start off by showing the state of my plants, which is not good. So here they are. I honestly, due to being in school all the time and doing design work, I haven't had time to take care of them. But I'm also curious if they didn't work out because of the pot size, because maybe the roots have just outgrown it, and maybe I should have moved it. And also at one point the plant was reaching for the light, so maybe it just didn't get enough sunlight. Either way, I just did not have time to properly take care of it. But I think once I do get more time, or maybe I'll just create more time to do these plants, because honestly when they were growing I did feel really fulfilled, and it felt really cool to have live plants. But I unfortunately killed them, so that was sad. But I did put them in direct light, and they were doing really well. I just think after a while of not watering them or taking proper care of them, they just wilted. So I just made it to this entrance of the Wissahickon Valley Park, which is, I think we weren't here last time, but it's such an interesting spot to start a trail because I passed through a bunch of developments, and then there's all this construction and then all these cars, and it just doesn't seem visible, but it's definitely an entryway. So I just think it's interesting that, this is what you see as one of the entrances. It's not obvious, which I would think that they would want to make it obvious. I wanted this video to kind of be a reflection of what I learned and what I've just started to really think about when it comes to this class and about nature. And the main thing that I am now thinking about is, why whenever I hike, I always feel a need to go as fast as possible. Let's get through the hike, let's get through it. Meanwhile, I'm now observing the leaves on the ground. I'm observing all these twigs and how it's affecting the soil. And I'm thinking about it more. And it's just really interesting to me how I'm now thinking as I'm walking instead of just mindlessly walking through the woods, and how, there's nothing wrong with stopping and stopping once in a while, taking your time and enjoying nature. I feel even when people are yeah, we love hiking, they don't enjoy the nature. They just hike and walk and they never stop. Meanwhile, I'm actually observing, I'm taking my time, and I'm very grateful for that, because I feel even us as people, when we hike, we don't stop and enjoy the nature. We pretend to, but in reality we're not. So I'm looking at this, when I was walking, I stopped to look at this because it's interesting knowing about the layers, how we know as people leaves fall. But actually, now that I'm thinking about it, these leaves haven't fallen yet, so they might actually just stay on the branch. I'm not sure. But again, even though I don't know what leaves these are, it's interesting that I'm now thinking wait, maybe these leaves aren't falling, and maybe it is good to spray paint. I mean, I don't think it's good to spray paint trees either way. I think they should just make a sign and put it in the ground. But I guess this is where people look most times to see where they're going. So I don't know. I think it's interesting, and how who knows how this blue spray paint's gonna affect the nature. But I guess if these leaves don't fall, yeah, because they look more like vines, so I think they're just crawling up the tree. Wow, that's interesting. I just contradicted my own theory on why I stopped here. That's actually really funny. I've probably been babbling this whole time, but I don't know. Me speaking and talking out my, feelings and my thoughts, it helps me develop better as a person and make me think smarter and not harder. And I don't know. I think that's another reason why these kind of classes aren't taught in schools, because we need to get stuff right away, and we can't explore and we can't think for ourselves, which is again like so interesting because, you know, we start to think for ourselves in the real world. Like that's what we do every day. Like we don't know what we're doing, you know? It's like, why can't we just like think for ourselves and like explore, touch stuff, get hurt once in a while so we know how to not get hurt again? Like, I don't know. It's very interesting to me. Something interesting about this spot in particular, now that I'm like walking, is I took pictures here last year, maybe like a little earlier in the semester, kind of around the same time though. And you actually couldn't see that house. Like all the trees were on here and now you can like see through the woods. And that's like one of my favorite parts about the woods in the fall is like, I see it at my house all the time too, is now you can actually like see through the woods and like see everything. Meanwhile, like in the spring, all the leaves are up, so you can't see anything. Another thing I've been thinking about when it comes to this class is how many excuses we make as people to like not go outside or to like exercise or just get with nature. Because even today, I'm not gonna lie, this morning I was like, oh, it's really cold out, like do I really want to go hiking? And it's like, Tara, you're not gonna die. Like I kept telling myself that, I'm like, you're not gonna die if you go out in the rain or the cold or the blazing hot. Like you're gonna be fine. And if you're not, then you nurture and take care of yourself, like, or you stop and go back. You know, it's like, I just don't understand the amount of excuses we make. Like, oh, we don't have enough time, or it's too cold, it's not the perfect day. But you can still like see a lot from nature, like no matter which day it is. Like something's always happening. Nature's always developing and moving and growing and dying and all of that. So there's always something to see and observe. And like it's funny too now because of the weather and how it just rained. Like it feels like I can kind of like skate down this hill right now. Like this is the hill that I'm going down. It feels like I can skate down it because of how like damp it is. So I don't know. I definitely have more of an appreciation for nature again, which I'm really glad I got that back because I do live in the middle of the woods. Like you would think I would always appreciate nature, and I appreciate living in it, but I never like hike it anymore. And I don't know, I wish I did. But I think when I go home, even if it like snows, I'm still gonna like explore the woods. No more excuses. Okay, I just hiked for a very, very long time, which was good. I'm very cold, but again, I'm gonna be in my warm car soon, so it's okay. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my rambling. And I am definitely more curious about nature now. So thanks.